Good evening and welcome to the regular meeting of Port Clinton City Council, January 22nd, 2013. Don't jump up because we have official business before we get started. Before we get started, we are required to make a motion to accept Tiffany Smith as our clerk while Mrs. Springer is on maternity leave. We have no little baby yet, but he is coming probably by tomorrow. And she didn't want to upset Chief Hickman by being here tonight. She was concerned, so those were her words. I didn't want to upset Chief Hickman. So I will accept a motion to accept Tiffany Smith as our clerk for the duration. She'll probably be with us till about April. So moved. Thank you, Mrs. Terry. Thank you, Mrs. Bell. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Tiffany. You are now our clerk for a while. Now, would you please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, the Lord's Prayer, and a moment of silence for our men and women serving overseas. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Thank you. If the court please call the roll.
Ron Ackerman.
Present.
Deborah Baycott.
Excused.
Kathy Mel.
Present.
Mike Snyder.
Present.
Mark Hopler.
Present.
Randy Lipstraw.
Here.
Nicole Frey.
Present. Thank you. Council, you received the minutes for the December 11th regular meeting and the July 8th regular meeting. Could I have a motion to accept those as written?
So moved, Madam President.
Thank you,
June
Miss.
8th, or January 8th.
Huh?
You said July 8th.
Oh, did I?
That's okay.
January. I'm on cold medication. Could I have a second?
I'll second that, Mike.
Thank you, Mrs. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Also, I sent to you earlier this week the rules of council. There are two corrections, and I thought I sent that to you, but I just sent you the email and didn't attach it. The only thing that changed was I had the adoption date of 1/28. Actually, the adoption date's 1/22. And I had Mrs. DeFreitas' name spelled incorrectly. I'm the chairman. I will entertain a motion to accept the rules of council for this year.
So moved, Madam President, with the corrections.
Thank you, Mr. Snyder. Could I have a second?
I'd like to second that, please, Madam President.
Thank you, Mr. Ackerman. Any discussion about them? Would the clerk please call the roll?
Nicole Frey.
Yes.
Randy Lipstraw.
Yes.
Mark Hopler.
Yes.
Mike Snyder.
Yes.
Kathy Mel.
Yes.
Deborah Baycott.
She's not here.
Ron Ackerman.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. We now have the new rules of council. And just so the audience members know, I will let you know that we have made Mr. Koppler the finance chair. Mr. Ackerman retains his seat as chair of Parks and Recreation. Ms. Benko retains her seat in planning and development, as Mr. Snyder does in emergency services. Mrs. DeFreitas is now the chairperson for infrastructure, and Mrs. Mel is for law, retains her seat in laws, rules, and ordinances. I would appreciate if by the next meeting, which is the 13th of February, if you guys could, by that time, give me a list of your committee members. And Mike has told me, but if people would email them, because sometimes when you tell me, I don't remember. Okay, the chair notes that certification has been received regarding compliance with the rules and notification of this meeting. We will now go to the mayor's report.
Thank you, Madam President. First off, I'd like to congratulate Nicole DeFreitas for becoming our councilman at large. Congratulations to you. Just one other thing, I wanted to speak on ordinance 1-13. It involves a nature trail that runs through the Lakefront Preserve. Design work was completed last year by VEC and Associates and paid for by Coastal Management Grant. It was a 50-50 split, so 50% of it was a local match. This is applied for a construction grant through ODNR Recreational Trail Program. Estimated cost right around $30,000 for the project complete. If we awarded a grant, 2/3 of the cost would be paid for by the state, and 1/3 would be local match, approximately $10,000. So we're looking forward to that moving forward so that we can implement that project. Hopefully before the year's out, it should be complete. And that's all I have tonight, Madam President.
Thank you. Auditor's report.
Thank you, Madam President. I too would like to welcome Nicole DeFreitas to council. But other than that, I have nothing to report.
Thank you. Treasurer's report.
Madam President, my report is passed out this evening, and I too wish to welcome our new council.
Thank you. Law Director's report.
Nothing this time, Madam President.
Safety Service Director.
Thank you, Madam President. Welcome, Nicole.
Thank you.
I just want to announce that Columbia Gas is going to host a public meeting here at 6 to 7 p.m. on Monday, January 28th. The purpose of the meeting is to provide information and answer questions from residents in the project area. The project area is centered on Linden Street, which will include portions of streets west of Maple, east of Beach, south of East Perry, and north of East State Street, excuse me. So for anybody in that area, please come to the meeting and they will explain what they're going to do. Columbia Gas is going to do a bunch of new lines in town. You'll see them out there on 6th Street right now working on some things. And the other thing that I have to announce, make sure you take advantage. We have an open gym, open swim at the high school on Sundays, open for all ages. It goes from 1 to 4 Sunday afternoons. It's $3 a person, $7 a family. We do provide certified lifeguards there, so please take advantage. You can play basketball, volleyball, and use the pool all in that same afternoon. And that's all I have tonight, Madam President.
Thank you. Police Chief's report.
Thank you, Madam President. I too would like to welcome you, Nicole.
Thank you.
The only thing I have tonight is the Fort Clinton Police Department will be hosting a Refuse to be a Victim course on Saturday, February 23rd, here at City Council Chambers from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. The seminar is based on the psychology of the criminal mind, home and phone security, automobile and travel security, self-defense, devices and training options, as well as personal and technology security. This is one of many courses we're hoping to have this year. We're going to do them in the spring and the fall. The first one is set up for February. We'll be having them again in March and April, so stay tuned for those dates. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you. What was the time again, Chief?
1 p.m. to 5 p.m. Slots are, class size will be 20 students per class. It's free of charge. The contact person will be Sergeant Josh Nelson, and he can be reached at the police department.
And that's the 23rd, Rob?
23rd of February, yes.
Thank you. Fire Chief's report.
Thank you, Madam President. I just wanted to make a quick comment that with the cold weather that we're experiencing, the severe wind chills, a lot of people have a tendency to start bringing in what we call milk house heaters, or the small electric heaters, into the house. Kerosene heaters and those type of things, and all I got to do is just remind you to be extremely careful with all of those. There are multiple fires that have occurred around the state of Ohio yesterday, just based on that. No fatalities in the state of Ohio, but there were 4 in Michigan. So you want to keep that in the back of your mind. And also traveling, when you're out in your vehicle, make sure that you dress warm, have the proper attire on when you're out there, and if your car does falter out with the severe wind chill, make sure that you stay in the vehicle and don't try to wander off. Thank you, Madam President.
Chief, how about the venting of them?
Pardon?
How about the venting of the kerosene heaters?
you shouldn't be running the kerosene heaters in the home unless you do have a window cracked or at least a CO detector in the house that works. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Under correspondence, I have an NPDES permit to discharge to state waters. The applicant is the Middle Bass Club. They're out of Ashland, Ohio, but that's their address. Where the discharge occurs will be at the Middle Bass Club, West Shore, Middle Bass Island, Middle Bass, Ohio. And the nature of the business will be 24 summer homes located on Middle Bass Island. If you care to comment, the clerk will have the paperwork for you to do so. I have another NPDES permit to discharge to state waters. This is Willow Beach Mobile Home Park on Willow Beach Road. And the purpose, it just says the nature of the business, the receiving stream will be Lacarte Creek. And again, if you have any objections or wish to comment, the clerk will have the paperwork to do so. I'd like a motion to accept the correspondence as stated and also the infrastructure committee notes of 1-3-13 and the treasurer's report.
So moved, Madam President.
Thank you, Mr. Snyder. Could I have a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Ms. Mel. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. We are now going to go to the reading of ordinances and resolutions. We have a number of ordinances and resolutions to read tonight, and most of them need to be passed this evening because of time constraints. So we will get started. Will the clerk please read by title ordinance 41-12?
Ordinance 41-12, an ordinance amending section 915.04 of the codified ordinance of the city of Port Clinton relating to sanitary sewer rates and declaring an emergency.
Does council wish to take any action this evening on ordinance 41-12? Mr. Snyder.
Madam President, I'd like to make a motion that we retain the emergency clause on 4112.
I have a motion to retain the emergency clause on ordinance 41-12. Do I have a second?
Second, Madam President.
Thank you, Mr. Coppler. Any discussion on retaining of the clause? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Ron Ackerman,
Yes.
Nicole Freitas,
Yes.
Randy Lipstraw,
Yes.
Mike Snyder,
Yes.
Mark Hapler,
Yes.
Candy Mel,
Yes.
Thank you. The emergency clause has been retained. Does council wish to take any further action on ordinance 41-12? Mr. Snyder.
Madam President, I move we adopt ordinance 4112.
I have a motion to adopt ordinance 41-12. Do I have a second? Thank you, Mr. Lipstraw. Any discussion on ordinance 41-12? Mr. Coppler.
Thank you, Madam President. This was something we discussed in the infrastructure committee, and this brings all of the sewer rates, the billing in line with this, in the same manner that water rates are billed. We want to keep everything uniform. So we did discuss this in the infrastructure committee, and we feel this should be passed.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, would the clerk please call the roll?
Kathy Mel,
Yes.
Ron Ackerman,
Yes.
Mike Snyder,
Yes.
Mark Hapler,
Yes.
Randy Lipstraw,
Yes.
Nicole Freitas,
Yes.
Thank you. Ordinance 41-12 is passed. Would the clerk please read by title and summary only, ordinance 42-12?
Ordinance 42-12, an ordinance to fix salaries for certain employees of the city of Port Clinton, Ohio, for the period of commencing January 1st, 2013, and declaring an emergency.
Does council wish to take any action this evening on ordinance 42-12? Mr. Snyder.
Madam President, I'd like to make a motion that we amend ordinance 42-12. There is a copy of the amendments in front of you and extra copies over here. They're highlighted in red. But those amendments take place on page 1, section 1, subsection B, the itemized notation, part-time dispatchers, secretaries, clerk/typists, $15.80 per hour. The other amendment to that, skip a paragraph, and it shall read, the base hourly rate set forth above for part-time dispatchers, secretaries, clerk typists shall be adjusted by the city auditor from time to time to be the same as the hourly wage of a step 1 dispatchers, secretaries, clerk/typists in accordance with the applicable collective bargaining agreements between the city and the Fraternal Order of Police Lodge number 73. Yeah, 79, thank you.
Mr. Wilbur.
I believe in 4212 that you got that was handed out originally, that language was already in there. Now, the one that was emailed to you before the meeting didn't have it, Mike, but the one that was handed out for use at the council meeting that night had that language already in it. And I emailed you that.
Right, for the, and I checked that, for the original paragraph, or the paragraph prior to that, had language referring to part-time patrol officers.
And we also had the one that was out there that has for the part-time dispatcher, secretary, and clerk typist, and the other paragraph was already in there. That was handed out that night at the meeting.
I never saw that, and that's so.
So that should be the one, the original 4212 that the clerk has that was distributed to use and had on the agenda that night.
So the only thing that needs to be amended is the itemized line item with the hourly rate of $15.80.
No, that was all in there. Right here is the one that was handed out that night at the meeting that has the $15.80 per hour in there, and it has the other language in regards to putting it in line with the
Okay, then.
with Fraternal Order of Police Lodge contract.
I withdraw my amendment.
Tiffany, did you note that Mr. Snyder withdrew the amendment? You can make that note. Okay. Does council wants to take any action on ordinance 42-12? Mr. Snyder?
I would like to make a motion that we waive the emergency clause of 4212.
Or we could retain it.
Or, yeah.
I have a motion to retain the emergency clause in 42-12. Do I have a second? Thank you, Mr. Cochran. Any discussion on the retaining of the clause? I'm confused about something.
Yes, Madam President.
Okay.
The amended reading of 1/8/13 would count as the second reading of the ordinance 4212, or even though the amended reading isn't technically the original ordinance, correct?
No,
You
we,
were just amending it tonight. You didn't amend it at the last meeting.
We had an amended copy handed out on January 8th.
You may have had that handed out, but you had the original one. that
Yes,
already
correct.
You already had the language with it, and the reading on the 8th was just on the original ordinance.
All right, thank you very much. Now I'm no longer confused.
it's a confusing.
Madam President.
It's confusing. I have a motion on the floor. Do I have a second for Mr. Cochran? Okay. Any discussion on the declaring of an emergency? Or retaining that clause?
Something like that.
Yes.
Yes, the reason we're waiving, retaining the emergency clause is because there's language in here that makes this retroactive to January 1st. The sooner it can become active, the better it is for all parties concerned in bookkeeping.
Okay, would the clerk please call the roll?
Nicole DeFreitas.
Yes.
Mark Hopper.
Yes.
Mike Snyder.
Yes.
Ron Ackerman.
Yes.
Kathy Brown.
Yes.
Randy Lipstrop.
Yes.
Thank you. The emergency clause has been retained. This council should take any further action on ordinance 42-12. Mr. Snyder.
I would like to make a motion that we adopt 4212.
I have a motion to adopt ordinance 42-12. Do I have a second?
Second, Madam President.
Thank you, Mr. Cochran. Any discussion? Seeing none, would the clerk please call the roll?
Randy Lipstrop.
Yes.
Ron Ackerman.
Yes.
Kathy Brown.
Yes.
Mike Snyder.
Yes.
Mark Hopper.
Yes.
And Nicole DeFreitas.
Yes. Thank you. Ordinance 42-12 is passed. Would the clerk please read by title and summary only ordinance 43-12?
Ordinance 43-12, an ordinance authorizing and directing the Director of Safety and Service to advertise for bids and enter into a contract for a project to modernize and make more efficient the Jet Express terminal facility operated by the Clinton Bay Boat Line Company, all in accordance with the LPA Federal Local LET project agreement between the Ohio Department of Transportation and the city and declaring an emergency.
Does council wish to take any action this evening on ordinance 43-12? Mr. Schneider?
Make a motion that we retain the emergency clause.
I have a motion to retain the emergency clause in ordinance 43-12. Do I have a second?
I'd like to second that motion, Madam President.
Thank you, Mr. Ackerman. Any discussion on the retaining of the clause? Seeing none, would the clerk please call the roll?
Deborah Baker. Kathy Mel.
Yes.
Ron Ackerman.
Yes.
Mike Snyder.
Yes.
Mark Hopler.
Yes.
Randy Lipstraw.
Yes.
And Dakota Freya.
Yes. Thank you. The emergency clause will be retained. Does council wish to take any further action on ordinance 43-12? Mrs. Miller?
Move that we adopt ordinance 43-12.
I have a motion to adopt ordinance 43-12. Do I have a second?
Second, Madam President.
Thank you, Mr. Poplar. Any discussion? Would the clerk please call the roll?
Ron Ackerman.
Yes.
Kathy Mel.
Yes.
Mike Snyder.
Yes.
Mark Hopler.
Yes.
Dakota Freya.
Yes.
Randy Lipstraw.
Yes.
Thank you. Ordinance 43-12 is passed. Would the clerk please read by title and summary only? Ordinance 45-12.
Ordinance 45-12. An ordinance amending chapter 719 of the codified ordinance of the city of Port Clinton regulating street and sidewalk vendors and declaring an emergency.
Does council wish to take any action this evening on ordinance 45-12? Mrs. Mel?
Vote that we, I move that we retain the emergency clause in 45-12.
Thank you. I have a motion to retain the emergency clause in ordinance 45-12. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Lipstraw. Any discussion?
I just want to say that we discussed that in laws, rules, and ordinances, and we made it was an existing ordinance, and we just made it more business friendly. We did talk about the vendors downtown, the merchants, they were in favor of what we did, and we've been working on it for about a year, but we're satisfied, I think, with the results. So I hope that we can pass that this evening.
Thank you. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Kathy Mel.
Yes.
Ron Ackerman.
Yes.
Dakota Freya.
Yes.
Randy Lipstraw.
Yes.
Mike Snyder.
Yes.
Mark Hopler.
Yes.
Thank you. The emergency clause has been retained. Does council wish to take any further action on ordinance 45-12? Mrs. Mel?
I would like to move that we adopt 45-12.
I have a motion to adopt ordinance 45-12. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Lipstraw. Any discussion? I know this has been a long time coming. We've done a lot of work with the police department. I just want to thank the laws, rules, and ordinance committee for their work on this and getting it done.
And also the police department.
And the police department, so that
Thank you.
we can get this in place before
Summer.
summer. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Mike Snyder.
Yes.
Mark Hopler.
Yes.
Ron Ackerman.
Yes.
Kathy Mel.
Yes.
Dakota Freya.
Yes.
Randy Lipstraw.
Yes.
Thank you. Ordinance 45-12 is passed. We will now go to second readings of ordinances and resolutions. Would the clerk please read by title and summary only? Ordinance 01-13.
Ordinance 01-13. An ordinance authorizing and directing the Director of Safety and Service to submit a grant proposal through the Clean Ohio Fund Recreational Trails Program for construction of the Lakefront Preserve Trail and declaring an emergency.
Does council wish to take any action this evening on ordinance 01-13? Mr. Ackerman.
Madam President, I would like to waive the 3 required readings on ordinance 01-13, per the mayor's request.
I have a motion to waive the 3 required readings on ordinance 01-13. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Lipstraw. Any discussion on the waiving of the readings? This is a time-sensitive issue. I think the proposal needs to be in February 1st, so. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Dakota Freya.
Yes.
Mark Hopler.
Yes.
Kathy Mel.
Yes.
Ron Ackerman.
Yes.
Randy Lipstraw.
Yes.
Mike Snyder.
Yes.
Thank you. Does council wish to take any further action on ordinance 01-13? Mr. Ackerman.
Madam President, I would like to retain the emergency clause on ordinance 01-13.
I have a motion to retain the emergency clause on ordinance 01-13. Do I have a second?
I'll second that, Madam President.
Thank you, Ms. Mel. Any discussion? Would the clerk please call the roll?
Ron Ackerman.
Yes.
Nicole DeFreitas,
Yes.
Kathy Mel,
Yes.
Mark Hopler,
Yes.
Randy Lipstraw,
Yes.
and Mike Snyder.
Yes.
Thank you. The emergency clause has been retained. Does council wish to take any further action on ordinance 01-13? Mr. Lipstraw.
Make a motion, we adopt ordinance 01-13.
I have a motion to adopt ordinance 01-13. Do I have a second?
Second, Madam President.
Thank you, Mr. Snyder. Any discussion? Would the clerk please call the roll?
Mike Snyder,
Yes.
Mark Hopler,
Yes.
Randy Lipstraw,
Yes.
Ron Ackerman,
Yes.
Nicole DeFreitas,
Yes.
and Kathy Mel.
Yes.
Thank you. Ordinance 01-13 has passed. And I would just like to personally thank everybody for voting yes on this. It's all part of the big plan for the, for the lakefront preserve. And I think after we do the trails, then we're going to start on wetlands restoration. So I think it's a big picture project, and I'm glad to see everybody's on board. Would the clerk please read by title ordinance 02-13?
Ordinance 02-13, an ordinance authorizing and directing the Director of Safety and Service to issue requests for qualifications and enter into an agreement for construction management services for the Jet Express Terminal Facility project and declaring an emergency.
Does council wish to take any action this evening on ordinance 02-13? Mr. Snyder.
Madam President, I'd like to make a motion that we waive the 3 required readings.
I have a motion to waive the 3 required readings on ordinance 02-13. Do I have a second?
I'll second that, Madam President.
Thank you, Ms. Mel. Any discussion on the waiving of the readings? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Kathy Mel,
Yes.
Mark Hopler,
Yes.
Mike Snyder,
Yes.
Ron Ackerman,
Yes.
Nicole DeFreitas,
Yes.
Mark Hopler.
Yes.
Yeah, you must have missed somebody.
Randy Lipstraw,
Yes.
That's okay.
I'm throwing at you tonight.
Put it on.
Does council wish to take any further action on ordinance 02-13? Mr. Snyder.
I'd like to make a motion that we retain the emergency clause.
I have a motion to retain the emergency clause on ordinance 02-13. Do I have a second?
Second, Madam President.
Thank you, Mr. Coppler. Any discussion on retaining of the clause? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Nicole DeFreitas,
Yes.
Randy Lipstraw,
Yes.
Mark Hopler,
Yes.
Mike Snyder,
Yes.
Kathy Mel,
Yes.
Ron Ackerman.
Yes.
Thank you. We've retained the emergency clause. Does council wish to take any further action on ordinance 02-13? Mr. Lipstraw.
Make a motion, we adopt ordinance 02-13.
I have a motion to adopt ordinance 02-13. Do I have a second, Mr. I'll second it. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Mrs. DeFreitas. Any discussion? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Ron Ackerman,
Yes.
Nicole DeFreitas,
Yes.
Randy Lipstraw,
Yes.
Kathy Mel,
Yes.
Mike Snyder,
Yes.
Mark Hopler.
Yes.
Thank you. Ordinance 02-13 has passed. Would the clerk please read by title and summary only ordinance 03-13?
Ordinance 03-13, an ordinance authorizing and directing the Director of Safety and Service to enter into an agreement for design engineering services for the 2nd Street ODOT Small City Grant Project and declaring an emergency.
Does council wish to take any action this evening on ordinance 03-13? Mr. Snyder.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion that we waive the 3 required readings on the ordinance.
I have a motion to waive the 3 required readings on ordinance 03-13. Do I have a second, Mr. Ackerman?
Yes, Madam President, I would like to second that motion.
Thank you. Any discussion on the waiving of the readings? Would the clerk please call the roll?
Ron Ackerman,
Yes.
Kathy Mel,
Yes.
Mike Snyder,
Yes.
Mark Hopler,
Yes.
Randy Lipstraw,
Yeah.
Nicole DeFreitas.
Yes. Thank you. Does council wish to take any further action on ordinance 03-13? Mrs. DeFreitas. What? I'm sorry. I'd like to make a motion to retain the emergency clause.
I have a motion to retain the emergency clause in ordinance 03-13. Do I have a second, Mr. Littlestrong?
Second.
Any discussion? Would the clerk please call the roll?
Nicole DeFreitas,
Yes.
Ron Ackerman,
Yes.
Mark Hopler,
Yes.
Mike Snyder,
Yes.
Randy Webstraw,
Yes.
Kathy Mel.
Yes.
Thank you. We retain the emergency clause. Would like to take any further, would council like to take any further action on ordinance 03-13? Mr. Snyder.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion that we adopt the ordinance.
I have a motion to adopt ordinance 03-13. Do I have a second? Thank you, Mr. Littlestrong. Any discussion? Mr. Coughlin.
Madam President, could we have a little more information as to what all this is going to entail? Design services.
Mr. Colson, Mr.
For the Second Street, this is to take care of the design work. The engineering services basically is dealing with all the infrastructure, as far as sewer separation. It also includes the streets, the curbs, and the sidewalks, all downtown on Second Street between Monroe and Jefferson. And this is time sensitive.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Kathy Mel,
Yes.
Mike Snyder,
Yes.
Ron Ackerman,
Yes.
Mark Hopler,
Yes.
Randy Webstraw,
Yes.
and Nicole DeFreitas.
Yes.
Thank you. Ordinance 03-13 has passed. Would the clerk please read by title and summary ordinance 04-13?
Ordinance 04-13, an ordinance authorizing and directing the Director of Safety and Service to issue requests for qualifications and enter into an agreement for construction management services and declaring an emergency.
Does council wish to take any action this evening on ordinance 04-13? Seeing none, we will move that to, is it? Did you want that?
Yeah, if I could, can I speak on that?
Yes.
If it's all right with you. This project is also time sensitive due to the agreements of construction. So we definitely need to move forward on this. This is part of the 6th Street project.
Does council wish to take any action on ordinance 04-13? Mr. Snyder.
Madam President, I'd like to make a motion that we waive the three required readings.
I have a motion to waive the 3 required readings on ordinance 04-13. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Littlestrong. Any discussion on the waiving of the readings? Would the clerk please call the roll?
Nicole DeFreitas,
Yes.
Kathy Mel,
Yes.
Mike Snyder,
Yes.
Mark Hopler,
Yes.
Ron Ackerman,
Yes.
Randy Webstraw.
Yeah.
Thank you. Does council wish to take any further action on 04-13? Mr. Littlestrong.
Make a motion, we retain the emergency clause on 04-13.
I have a motion to retain the emergency clause on 04-13. Do I have a second?
Second, Madam President.
Thank you, Mr. Cochran. Any discussion on the retaining of the clause? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Ron Ackerman,
Yes.
Nicole DeFreitas,
Yes.
Mike Snyder,
Yes.
Kathy Mel,
Yes.
Mark Hopler,
Yes.
Randy Webstraw,
Yeah.
Thank you. The clause has been retained. Does council wish to take any further action on ordinance 04-13? Mr. Snyder.
I'd like to make a motion that we adopt the ordinance.
I have a motion to adopt ordinance 04-13. Have a second, Mr. Austin.
Madam President, I would like to second that motion.
Thank you. Any discussion? Will the clerk please call the roll? Oh, I'm sorry.
I guess I just got a couple questions on this. Obviously, it's a agreement to have someone, I guess, oversee the project. Is that for the city, from the cities?
Yeah, this is construction management. All the monies have already been allocated. Council has voted to forward on the 6th Street project. But we feel as though, obviously, we're about the qualification for different engineering firms to actually handle the actual construction management of the project, to make sure that it's constructed properly in accordance to the engineering specs.
Okay, the engineering costs, then, the cost of this, are they already accounted for, or do we have to have this firm check out
The
these?
construction management costs
Yeah.
have already, we've already done that.
Okay. Okay.
Any further discussion? Mr.?
I was just gonna add that the engineer cannot oversee the project. That's why we have to get somebody else. In certain projects, you can have the same group do it. In this project, you cannot. So,
The ODOT requirements require, again, that ODOT reimburses part of the cost. The city picks up the other.
Would the clerk please call the roll?
Kathy Mel,
Yes.
Mike Snyder,
Yes.
Mark Hopper,
Yes.
Randy Lipstraw,
Yes.
Nicole DeFreitas,
Yes.
Ron Ackerman.
Yes.
Thank you. Ordinance 04-13 has passed. Would the clerk please read by title and summary only? Ordinance 05-13.
Ordinance 05-13, an ordinance authorizing and directing the Director of Service and Safety to advertise for bids and enter into a contract for the construction of the Safe Routes to School project and to advertise for qualifications and enter into a contract for construction management services for the project and declaring an emergency.
Does council wish to take any action this evening on ordinance 05-13? Mr. Cox?
Madam President, I move we waive the 3 required readings on ordinance 05-13.
Thank you. I have a motion to waive the 3 required readings on 05-13. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Lipstraw. Any discussion on the waiving of the readings? Mr. Snyder?
Thank you, Madam President. Just a quick question on the member's answer. Is the timetable for this to have, this works obviously started in the springtime and be completed by the end of the school year?
I think it'll be done by school year. It'll probably be more summertime project.
Okay.
Construction begins July 1st,
With the state budget? Okay, thank you.
through July 1st, August.
Any other discussion? Would the clerk please call the roll?
Nicole DeFreitas,
Yes.
Ron Ackerman,
Yes.
Randy Lipstraw,
Yes.
Mike Snyder,
Yes.
Mark Hopper,
Yes.
Kathy Mel.
Yes.
Does council wish to take any further action on ordinance 05-13? Mr. Cox?
Madam President, I move we retain the emergency clause on ordinance 05-13.
I have a motion to retain the emergency clause on ordinance 05-13. Do I have a second?
Second, Madam President.
Thank you, Mr. Snyder. Any discussion? Would the clerk please call the roll?
Mike Snyder,
Yes.
Mark Hopper,
Yes.
Randy Lipstraw,
Yes.
Nicole DeFreitas,
Yes.
Kathy Mel,
Yes.
Ron Ackerman.
Yes.
Thank you. Does council wish to take any further action on ordinance 05-13? Mr. Lipstraw.
Make a motion, we adopt ordinance 05-13.
I have a motion to adopt ordinance 05-13. Do I have a second?
I'll second that, Madam President.
Thank you, Mrs. Snell. Any discussion? Would the clerk please call the roll?
Mark Hopper,
Yes.
Randy Lipstraw,
Yes.
Nicole DeFreitas,
Yes.
Ron Ackerman,
Yes.
Kathy Mel,
Yes.
and Mike Snyder.
Yes.
Thank you. Under first readings, tonight you were given ordinance 06-13. I need a motion to put that on tonight's agenda.
So moved, Madam President.
Thank you, Mr. Snyder. Can I have a second?
Second.
Go ahead.
Second, Madam President.
Thank you, Mr. Cochran. Any discussion? Would the clerk please call the roll?
Ron Ackerman,
Yes.
Kathy Mel,
Yes.
Mike Snyder,
Yes.
Mark Hopper,
Yes.
Randy Lipstraw,
Yes.
Nicole DeFreitas.
Yes. Thank you. It's my understanding that we do not have to pass this tonight, but Mr. Leopold did want to get it on for the first reading. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, would the clerk please read by title and summary only, ordinance 06-13?
Ordinance 06-13, an ordinance authorizing and directing the Director of Safety and Service to request a loan from the Ohio Water Development Authority for matching funds for the 6th Street reconstruction and water line replacement project and declaring an emergency.
Does council wish to take any action this evening on ordinance 06-13? Seeing none, we will move it to the February 12th meeting for its second reading. You did very well.
That was nice to do, look at it.
We will now do business from the floor. Mr. Cochran.
Thank you, Madam President. Yeah, this is just kind of different. Congratulations, Nicole, and as infrastructure chair now, I do have bunch of information to get over to you.
And a lot of homework ahead of you.
Yeah, a lot of homework, but we've got a couple of good guys there with you to help out. And I look forward as finance chair, working with Mr. Hatfield, Mr. Snyder, and a third person that I haven't quite gotten a response from yet.
Okay.
But I look forward to it, and look forward to another good year here in Portland. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Ackerman.
I too would like to welcome Mrs. Freitas to Portland City Council. We're looking forward to working with you in many different capacities over the next year. Guaranteed for me, through November. I'm not counting my chickens before they're hatched. As far as it goes. Due to my reappointment in the chairmanship of the Parks and Rec Committee, I look forward to being able to work with the many different friends groups that we have throughout the city to help continue to make our parks and cemeteries places that represent how we feel and the pride we have in the city of Port Clinton. To go along with that, the first meeting for the Friends of the Cemetery of the calendar year from 2013 will be January 28th at the Adirondack Library, and that meeting will take place at 6:30. The Friends of the Park will be convening their first meeting of the calendar year, February 11th, and that's at St. Thomas Church, and that meeting takes place at 4:30. Both of those groups do outstanding work for the city, and if you have an opportunity to participate in either of those, I would highly recommend that. Like you said, good work for the city, and it builds a lot of pride in our town. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you. Ms. Mel.
I would like to welcome Nicole, as far as working with you. Have another woman on the phone. And, not that guys aren't fun to work with. Anyway, anyway, welcome. And, I just was listening yesterday to the inaugural speech of the president, and I thought he did a great message of working together as a nation, and I hope we continue to work together as a council for the betterment of Port Clinton. A lot of exciting things are going to be happening this year, and we all need to pull together. So it should be a fun year. Looking forward to it. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Snyder.
Thank you, Madam President. Couple things real quick. Begin with the fireworks. The Texas Hold'em Poker Tournament is this Sunday at the Elks Lodge. Doors open at noon. Bless you. Table draw will be at 12:45. First deal will be at 1 o'clock, $50 buy-in. And you can contact Debbie Tester to pre-register or register at the door. But Debbie's phone number is 419-341-0378. 341-0378. Another activity taking place in the community before we meet again. On February 1st, which is a Friday night, the Port Clinton Kiwanis Club, Port Clinton High School Key Club, and Port Clinton Middle School Builders Club will be hosting pancake and sausage dinner for Devin Coleman. As I talked about last time, Devin is in the fight for his life with a brain tumor. $5 will get you pancakes and sausage, serving from 5 to 7 at the Port Clinton High School. This will be prior to the Redskins versus the Perkins Pirates boys varsity basketball game, February 1st. I know it's a different area, but they're all alike. Bay Township Fire Department's having their Monte Carlo night this Saturday night. You can get tickets by contacting the Bay Township Fire Department or seeing any member of the Bay Township Fire Department. I don't know if, Chief, do you have any tickets for that?
I sold out.
Okay. So that's it. And I will skip the tip from the chief since Chief Johnson already took care of that one.
Sorry, Mike.
That's okay. I need to consult with you guys before I do this. Since they're coming from you. And Ms. Banco called me just before I walked in. She wanted me to announce that she will be having a Planning and Development Committee meeting on February 5th at 5:30. And with that, Ed, welcome. Thank you.
Mr. Burgess.
I just want to thank everybody for the warm welcome, and I'm just looking forward to working with everybody. And I have a lot to learn and a lot of homework ahead of me, but I, welcome the opportunity and just looking forward to making Port Clinton better and moving forward.
Mr. Lipscomb.
Again, not to be redundant, but I'd like to welcome Nicole to our council, and that's it for this evening.
I have just a couple comments before I go to the audience. State Representative Chris Redfern will have a town meeting in the council chambers on Friday, the 25th, that would be this Friday, starting at 9, and he'll just be here from 9 to 10. Anybody on council is welcome to attend. Anybody from the public is welcome to attend. But he did send me a note saying that he would start promptly at 9. Promptly was bold. Also, you'll hear me talk about this from now until April. Financial disclosure statements are due. I went online today and I did mine in less than 5 minutes. So they are available on the Ohio Ethics Commission website. Very easy to fill out. You can fill it out online and print it, but you can't send it online. So you can fill it out, print it, and then mail away. I believe, though you'll have to double check the website because it's not printed on the form, that your filing fee is $35. Yeah, and it'll be due in April. If it's not in on time, it's $10 a day, and they will find it.
Madam President, will we be getting a hard copy as usual?
No.
They were not.
No, last year was the first year that they did not give us hard copies. You only got a hard copy last year due to the kindness of Leah. She printed them out and made copies for everybody. And since Leah's on maternity leave, you're kind of on your own. Though it's pretty easy to get to, like I said, it was easy to get to, and it didn't take much time, and I will continue to remind you. Okay, members of the audience. Mr. Yonke.
Jerry Yonke, 117 Cedar Street. Mayor, it's never too early to make plans for the future. Now that we have everything lined up for 6th Street improvement, what's going to come after the 6th Street work is finished?
As far as road construction is concerned?
Road construction,
We have
separations.
Maple Street is already on board from Perry to 2nd. Follow me along on this. We're doing a lot of sewer relines. Due to the camera and the cleaning that we've been doing, we have a better idea of what we really have. And that's really dictating what our priorities are. That camera has been just a wonderful tool to help us prioritize. Along with that, we found out that Taft Street will have to be rebuilt due to the fact that the sewer is completely collapsed. This is something that was being put on the back burner for some time, but when you have something like that, it has a potential health hazard, so we need to deal with that immediately. We're already moving forward on that to take care of it this summer. It's been through the committees, and we've shown some wonderful films of what our sewers look like. It's quite entertaining. I don't think I'd want to eat popcorn to the movies, but along with that, as you can see, as we're doing 6th Street, we want to make sure it's done proper. We're doing some separation in 6th Street, but due to the fact that we have nowhere to take it, it will join back together until we can continue to move forward. We are letting the camera really dictate where we're going. As you can see, 2nd Street is in motion as well. That is from Monroe to Jefferson. That's total reconstruction once again and sewer separation. I know we've already been in the field with the camera trying to locate the tweet in there to take a look at those sewer lines to see exactly what kind of costs we're going to come up with. If it's possible to reline to save some money, or if it's going to be total reconstruction. The problem we're having is the way they designed sewers back in the olden days wasn't always conducive to us being able to take a peek. The way the sewer lines run, they don't run to the manhole like you would normally have constructed. So there's a possibility we may have to dig up the street in order to get the camera into the sewers to see what's going on. Along with that, we were awarded some monies through CDBG grant. We've already done qualifications, and Pogemeyer will be working with us along with the steering committee that will be picked by myself. And we will be looking at the infrastructure in the downtown area and coming up with a master plan to continue working on sewer separation and moving our downtown forward. Along with that, there is also some other sewer reconstruction going on Columbia, Lee, that affects Casper, Grant. Trying to think off the top of my head what else is going on. We've got quite a few projects, as you can tell. I know I'm already looking at possibly securing some funds through the ODOT Small Cities for the reconstruction of Madison Street. That would be a project probably in 2017. So it's ongoing. Obviously, we're chasing after
Yeah.
all the free monies we possibly can, to leveraging our dollars to do as much as we can with the least amount of money as we can. So.
Do you have any information or an update on the pump stations along Perry Street?
Actually, I do, but if you would, I will be giving the city address at the next meeting.
Okay.
There'll be a lot of information in there on how we're moving forward, the pumps that have been replaced. I think everyone will be very happy what's going on there. As you know, we've already worked on the Sloan ditch, was able to clean that out. There's another section of the Sloan ditch west of Fulton Street where Rick Johansson and his family have filed a petition with Army Corps and Engineer to finish the cleaning over there so that we can get relief on the east side of our town. So we're looking forward to accomplishing the rest of that this year. Right now, I know there was a 15-day period of where you could basically object with the Army Corps of Engineers. To this date, I don't know of any. Mike Livin has been working really hard with us to keep that moving along. So we're very anxious. It provides a lot of relief. And as you, I don't know if you realize it or not, but normally when we have just even a small rain, the 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, all those dead-end streets, east side of town would flood. A lot of people would have water in their basement. I am proud to say that the rains that we've had, we've seen no flooding on the streets, and actually had a lot of compliments from the residents over there. And I know the hospital is extremely happy because they're not experiencing these problems. Is it a perfect solution? No, but it's definitely a step in the right direction, and we're pretty happy with it.
Thank you, Mayor.
Sure.
Anyone else this evening? Seeing none, I'll ask for a motion to adjourn, Mrs. Mel.
I move that this August body be adjourned.
Thank you,
Put it out there.
Thank you, Mr. Snyder. All those in favor?
Aye.